Whisper this while counting, cash, and let it come back. Multiplied. Florence Scovel Shinn. There exists a divine mystery hidden within the simple act of counting money, a sacred ritual that most perform unconsciously, unaware of the tremendous spiritual power they hold in their hands. When you count cash, you are not merely calculating numbers. You are participating in a cosmic dance of circulation, a divine exchange that mirrors the very breathing of the universe itself. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this profound truth. Every dollar bill, every coin, every piece of currency carries within it the vibrational signature of abundance, and when handled with conscious awareness, it becomes a conduit for infinite multiplication. The universe operates on the principle of circulation. Just as your blood must circulate to keep you alive, just as the seasons must circulate to maintain the balance of nature, money must circulate to fulfill its divine purpose. When you count your cash with reverence, with gratitude, with the understanding that you are handling sacred energy made manifest, you align yourself with the cosmic law of increase. You become a conscious participant in the divine economy, where every dollar counted with appreciation returns to you multiplied according to your faith and understanding. But here lies the crucial distinction that separates those who experience lack from those who experience abundance. The quality of consciousness you bring to this sacred act. When you count money from a place of fear, worry, or scarcity, you send out vibrations of lack into the universe, and the universe, being perfectly responsive to your consciousness, returns to you more experiences of limitation. However, when you count money from a place of gratitude, abundance consciousness, and divine expectation, you send out vibrations of prosperity, and the universe responds by multiplying your good. The words you speak while counting money become powerful declarations that program your subconscious mind and command the universe to respond. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that your word is your wand, and never is this more true than when you are handling the physical manifestation of abundance. Each bill you count becomes an opportunity to affirm your divine inheritance, to declare your unity with infinite supply, to command increase and multiplication through the power of your spoken word. Consider this profound truth. Money is simply energy made visible. It is the physical representation of value exchanged, service rendered, and abundance circulated. When you understand this, you realize that counting money is actually counting blessings, calculating miracles, and acknowledging the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all supply. The universe is not withholding abundance from you. You are withholding yourself from abundance through limited thinking and unconscious handling of prosperity. Every time you count money, you have a choice. You can count from the old consciousness of limitation, worry, and fear, or you can count from the new consciousness of abundance, gratitude, and divine expectation. You can approach this ritual as a mundane task, or you can recognize it as a sacred opportunity to commune with the infinite source of all supply. The difference in your approach determines the difference in your results, for the universe responds not to what you count, but to how you count, not to the amount in your hands, but to the quality of consciousness in your heart. The words you whisper while counting cash are not mere sounds traveling through the air. They are vibrational commands that penetrate the quantum field of infinite possibilities and reorganize matter, energy, and circumstances according to their spiritual power. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed to us that we live in a vibrational universe where like attracts like, where consciousness creates reality, and where the spoken word becomes the bridge between the invisible realm of infinite supply and the visible world of manifest abundance. When you whisper, "I am grateful for this money, and I know it returns to me multiplied," you are not simply making a hopeful statement. You are declaring a spiritual law into operation. You are activating the divine principle of increase that governs all life. You are aligning your consciousness with the infinite intelligence that created galaxies, that causes flowers to bloom, that ensures the sun rises each morning without fail. This same intelligence that orchestrates the entire cosmos is responding to your words, rearranging circumstances, inspiring ideas, and opening channels for your money to return multiplied. The secret lies in understanding that your words carry the vibrational signature of your consciousness. When you speak from a consciousness of abundance, your words carry the vibration of increase. When you speak from a consciousness of lack, your words carry the vibration of limitation. The universe does not judge your words, it simply responds to their vibrational frequency. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized the importance of speaking only that which you wish to experience. For your word is the creative force that shapes your reality. But what transforms ordinary words into extraordinary power? It is the quality of feeling, the depth of faith, and the unwavering knowing that accompanies your spoken declarations. When you whisper blessings over your money, you must feel the truth of abundance flowing through every cell of your being. You must know, with unshakable certainty, that you are connected to infinite supply. You must believe, beyond any shadow of doubt, that the universe is conspiring to multiply your good in ways you cannot even imagine. The most powerful words are those spoken in alignment with divine truth. When you declare, "This money is blessed, and it blesses everyone it touches," you are acknowledging the spiritual nature of abundance. When you affirm, "I am a perfect channel for infinite supply," you are recognizing your divine identity as a son or daughter of the universe. When you proclaim, "Money flows to me easily and effortlessly in avalanches of abundance," you are commanding the law of attraction to bring you experiences that match your declaration. Every whispered word while counting money becomes a prayer, an affirmation, a command spoken into the creative medium of the universe. Your money becomes sacred, charged with divine energy, programmed for multiplication. You are no longer simply counting currency. You are counting blessings, blessing currency, and commanding increase through the mighty power of your word. The universe hears every whisper, responds to every declaration, and honors every blessing you speak over your abundance. But remember, the power of your words is activated by the sincerity of your heart. Half-hearted affirmations produce half-hearted results. Doubtful declarations create doubtful outcomes. However, when your words are backed by unwavering faith, supported by genuine gratitude, and spoken with absolute conviction, they become irresistible commands that the universe must obey. This is the sacred science of conscious creation, the divine art of speaking abundance into manifestation. For generations, humanity has been trapped in a collective hypnosis regarding money, bound by inherited beliefs of scarcity, limitation, and unworthiness that have been passed down like poisoned heirlooms from parent to child. These false beliefs have created a prison of lack in a universe of infinite abundance, causing souls to struggle and strain for that which is their divine birthright. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that before one could experience true prosperity, one must first be liberated from these mental chains that bind the consciousness to experiences of limitation. The most destructive belief about money is the lie that there is not enough to go around, that for someone to have more, someone else must have less. This zero-sum mentality creates a consciousness of competition rather than collaboration, of hoarding rather than circulating, of fear rather than faith. But the truth is that the universe is infinitely abundant, constantly expanding, eternally creating new forms of wealth and prosperity. There is no shortage in the kingdom of God. There is only the appearance of shortage created by limited human consciousness. Another devastating belief is the notion that money is evil, that spiritual people should not desire wealth, that poverty is somehow more virtuous than prosperity. This religious programming has created a split consciousness where individuals desire abundance but simultaneously reject it, creating an internal conflict that manifests as financial struggle. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that God desires His children to be prosperous, that abundance is our natural state, and that accepting our good is actually a spiritual duty, not a spiritual sin. Perhaps the most insidious belief is the lie of unworthiness, the feeling that you somehow do not deserve to be wealthy, that abundance belongs to other people, but not to you. This consciousness of unworthiness creates a vibrational barrier that repels abundance and attracts lack. But the truth is that you are a divine being, created in the image and likeness of infinite intelligence, heir to all the riches of the universe. Your worthiness is not based on your past actions, your current circumstances, or other people's opinions. It is based on your divine identity as a child of the Most High. The breakthrough comes when you realize that these limiting beliefs about money are not true. They are simply thoughts that have been thought so many times they have become accepted as reality. But thoughts can be changed, beliefs can be transformed, and consciousness can be elevated. When you begin to whisper new truths while counting your money, you are literally reprogramming your subconscious mind, replacing old patterns of lack with new patterns of abundance, dissolving decades of limitation with moments of divine truth. Every time you count money while affirming your divine right to abundance, you are breaking another link in the chain of inherited lack consciousness. Every whispered blessing over your cash is an act of rebellion against the collective hypnosis of scarcity. Every grateful acknowledgement of money in your hands is a declaration of your freedom from the prison of limited thinking. You are not just counting money. You are counting yourself free from every limitation that has ever held you back from experiencing your divine inheritance. The transformation begins the moment you recognize that your relationship with money is really your relationship with the universe, your relationship with your own divine nature, your relationship with infinite supply. When you heal this relationship through conscious communion with abundance, when you bless money instead of cursing it, when you welcome it instead of pushing it away, you open the floodgates of prosperity that have been waiting to shower you with blessings beyond your wildest dreams. In the realm of spirit, mathematics operates according to divine principles that transcend human understanding, where multiplication is not merely addition repeated, but a sacred law of increase that governs the expansion of all good in the universe. When Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of the law of increase, she was revealing a cosmic principle that operates automatically when aligned consciousness meets divine supply, creating exponential growth that defies logical explanation but demonstrates perfect spiritual order. The principle of multiplication is woven into the very fabric of creation. One seed produces a tree that bears thousands of fruits, each containing multiple seeds. One thought of love multiplies into countless acts of kindness. One word of truth multiplies into transformations that ripple through eternity. This same principle applies to money when it is handled with conscious awareness and blessed with divine recognition. The universe does not simply add to your supply. It multiplies it according to your faith, your gratitude, and your willingness to receive. But multiplication requires circulation. Money, like water, must flow to remain pure and powerful. When you hoard money from fear, you stop its circulation and cut yourself off from the source of increase. However, when you count your money with gratitude, bless it with love, and release it with faith, you keep it in divine circulation, allowing it to multiply as it serves its highest purpose. The fear of spending money creates the very lack that fear seeks to avoid, while the faith in continuous supply creates the abundance that faith expects to receive. The consciousness with which you count money determines the rate of its multiplication. When you count from a consciousness of, "This is all I have," you program the universe to maintain your current level. When you count from a consciousness of, "This is just the beginning," you program the universe to prepare greater abundance. When you count from a consciousness of, "I am grateful for this and I know more is coming," you create a vibrational match for continuous increase. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that we must give thanks not only for what we have received, but for what we are about to receive. When you count your money, while simultaneously giving thanks for the multiplication that is already on its way to you, you align yourself with the future abundance that exists in the invisible realm of infinite possibilities. You pull tomorrow's blessings into today's reality through the magnetic power of grateful expectation. The whispered words become mathematical commands in the spiritual realm. When you say this money is multiplied and increased in divine ways, you are not making a request, you are stating a law. When you declare, "Every dollar I bless blesses me in return multiplied," you are not hoping for a miracle, you are commanding a principle. When you affirm, "My money works for me while I sleep, multiplying in ways I cannot imagine," You are activating forces that operate beyond human effort or understanding. The miracle of multiplication often manifests through what appears to be natural means: an unexpected bonus, a profitable investment, a business opportunity, a gift from an unexpected source. But the metaphysical student understands that these natural channels are actually supernatural supply, made manifest through divine intelligence operating according to spiritual law. The universe always finds a way to honor the consciousness of abundance and multiply the good of those who align with the principle of increase. Time becomes irrelevant in the realm of divine multiplication. What may take years to accomplish through human effort can manifest in moments through spiritual principle. What may seem impossible according to earthly mathematics becomes inevitable according to divine law. When you count your money while anchored in the consciousness of multiplication, you collapse time and space, drawing your financial good from the future into the present moment through the power of your unwavering faith. The act of counting money with conscious awareness transforms an ordinary moment into a sacred ritual of communion with infinite supply, creating a direct connection between your individual consciousness and the universal source of all abundance. This ritual, when performed with reverence and understanding, becomes a powerful spiritual practice that aligns your vibration with the frequency of prosperity and opens channels for blessings to flow into your life in ways you never imagined possible. Every piece of currency becomes a sacred object, a physical representation of divine energy made manifest in the material world. When you hold money in your hands, you are holding crystallized thought, materialized faith, condensed abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that matter is simply spirit made visible, and money is no exception to this divine principle. It carries within its very essence the vibration of service rendered, value exchanged, and abundance circulated throughout the economic bloodstream of humanity. The ritual begins with preparation of consciousness. Before you count a single bill, pause and recognize the sacred nature of what you are about to do. Understand that you are not merely handling paper and metal. You are communing with the physical form of infinite supply. Breathe deeply and center yourself in the awareness that you are a divine being, created to experience abundance, deserving of prosperity, and connected to a source that never runs dry. As you count each bill, let your fingers become channels of blessing. Feel the energy of gratitude flowing from your heart through your hands into the money itself. Whisper words of appreciation. Thank you for this abundance. Thank you for representing the good I have given and received. Thank you for being a channel through which the universe blesses me. Your words become vibrations that infuse the money with positive energy, programming it to return to you multiplied. The counting becomes a meditation, a moving prayer, a kinesthetic affirmation. Each number counted is not just a mathematical calculation, but a spiritual declaration. 1. I am connected to infinite supply. 2. My abundance is unlimited. 3. I receive with gratitude and give with love. 4. My money multiplies in perfect divine order. The rhythm of counting becomes the rhythm of prosperity consciousness, synchronized with the heartbeat of the universe itself. Between the counting, in the spaces of silence, listen for the voice of infinite intelligence. Often, during this sacred communion with abundance, divine ideas come forth, inspired actions are revealed, and intuitive guidance about financial matters becomes clear. The money in your hands becomes a conduit for divine wisdom, opening your consciousness to receive not just material abundance, but the spiritual insight that creates lasting prosperity. The ritual concludes not with putting the money away, but with releasing it into divine circulation. As you place each bill back into its designated space, do so with the consciousness that you are returning it to the universe, blessed and energized, ready to serve its highest purpose. Know that every dollar you have touched with conscious appreciation carries your vibrational signature and will draw to you experiences that match the consciousness with which you blessed it. This sacred ritual transforms your entire relationship with money from one of anxiety and scarcity to one of reverence and abundance. You begin to see money not as something separate from your spiritual life, but as an integral part of your divine expression. You realize that every financial transaction becomes an opportunity for blessing. Every monetary exchange becomes a moment of communion with infinite supply, and every dollar counted becomes a prayer answered in advance. The ultimate goal of conscious money communion is not merely to receive more money, but to establish yourself permanently in the vibrational frequency of endless increase, where abundance becomes your natural state of being rather than a temporary experience to be achieved and lost. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that when we align our consciousness with the eternal principle of increase that governs all life, we step into a dimension of living where supply flows as naturally as breath, as automatically as heartbeat, as inevitably as sunrise. Living in the frequency of endless increase means maintaining the consciousness of abundance regardless of external circumstances. Whether you are counting a small amount or a large amount, whether you are experiencing a financial high or facing a monetary challenge, your inner knowing remains unshakable. You are connected to infinite supply. You are a channel for divine abundance, and increase is your divine right and natural inheritance. This consciousness becomes the foundation upon which all your financial experiences are built. The frequency of endless increase vibrates with certain unmistakable characteristics. It knows that there is always more where that came from. It trusts that the universe is constantly conspiring to increase your good. It expects miracles and provisions from unexpected sources. It gives freely because it knows that giving creates space for receiving. It blesses others' prosperity because it understands that there is enough for everyone. It sees obstacles as opportunities and delays as divine timing working for your highest good. When you count money from this frequency, every bill becomes a confirmation of your divine nature rather than a measure of your current limitations. Every dollar affirms your connection to infinite supply rather than defining the boundaries of your abundance. Every coin whispers the promise of endless increase rather than highlighting what you lack. You count not from the consciousness of "this is what I have," but from the consciousness of "this is what I am receiving" as evidence of my unlimited supply. The practice of whispering blessings while counting money becomes second nature when you live in this frequency. You automatically find yourself speaking words of gratitude, increase, and blessing because that is the natural language of abundance consciousness. Your words become increasingly powerful because they are spoken from a place of genuine knowing rather than hopeful wishing. You speak with authority because you know you are speaking divine law into manifestation. But perhaps most importantly, living in the frequency of endless increase means understanding that you are not trying to get abundance from the universe. You are allowing abundance to flow through you as a natural expression of your divine identity. You realize that you are not separate from your supply. You are one with infinite abundance. You understand that money is not coming to you from somewhere else. It is coming through you from the inexhaustible source within you. The transformation is complete when counting money becomes a celebration rather than a calculation, when handling currency becomes a communion rather than a transaction, when financial matters become spiritual practices rather than worldly concerns. You have graduated from the school of lack into the university of abundance, from the consciousness of getting into the consciousness of being, from the vibration of need into the frequency of endless increase. In this elevated state, you become a blessing to everyone whose life you touch. Your abundant consciousness lifts others into their own recognition of divine supply. Your prosperity becomes a demonstration of what is possible for all. Your joy in receiving becomes an inspiration for others to open their hearts to their own good. You discover that the greatest gift of abundance is not what it allows you to have, but what it allows you to give, not what it permits you to own, but what it enables you to become. The whispered words while counting cash have evolved from desperate affirmations into powerful declarations, from hopeful wishes into confident commands, from human effort into divine expression. You have learned the sacred art of conscious circulation, mastered the divine mathematics of multiplication, and established yourself permanently in the frequency of endless increase. Your money has become sacred, your wealth has become worship, and your abundance has become your service to the world. This is the ultimate teaching of Florence Scovel Shinn, made manifest in your own beautiful, prosperous, divinely blessed life.